Hey, this is Mr. Barr, and I'm going to do the work for rate of change. Let's get going on this. Rate of change. Determine the slope of the line represented by the table of values. All right, I can do this. This is within my skill set. Okay, let's draw on this thing. So I need to find the change from here to here. This was at -2, now it's at -1. That means it went up by 1. This is at 3, then it's at 5. That means it went up by 2. This is the rise. This is the run. 2 over 1, which is 2. So my slope is 2. Checking my answer. That's good. Going on to the next problem. Slope and rate of change are the same thing. Yes. When I say slope, you say rate of change. When I say rate of change, you say slope. We use them interchangeably. Yes, that is true. Determine the slope. Let's go determine the slope. From here to here, it was at -3. Now it's at -2. That means it went up by 1. It was at 5. Now it's at 3. That means it went down 3. This is the rise. This is the run. -3 over 1, which is -3. Checking my answer. That's correct. You know what? I did not check the answer over here. Let's check this one. Check that answer. That's correct. Good. On to question 4. Select all the names for slope. M? Yeah, Liam's move. Rate of change? Yes. Rate of change. Yes, Liam's move. Liam's B, no, that's a y-intercept. Y-intercept, that's a y-intercept. B, that's a y-intercept. G, constant of proportionality, yes. You actually learned that term in 7th grade. Constant of proportionality is the same thing as the slope. Let's check those answers, and we're looking good. Let's determine the slope here. 1 to 2 is a 1. -17 to -13, that actually went up by a +4. So my rise is 4, my run is 1, which means my slope is 4, right? If this is a number line, if I was at -17 and now I'm at -13, that means I went up by 4. So my slope is 4. Checking my answer. Looks good. All right, let's build our y equals mx plus b tree map. So m is rise over run. Rate of change is also m. Liam's b, well, that's b. The y-intercept, well, that's what b is, it's the y-intercept. The start, well, that's the start. Constant proportionality, that's a new one. Unit rate, you know what? I don't know if I've put that in my notes lately. Unit rate, slope, Liam's move. So the ones we have to remember are unit rate, rate of change, constant of proportionality, because we know slope, we know the move, we know rise over run. Let's check it, make sure I'm doing it. Whoa, okay, good. For a second, I thought it was wrong. That looks good. We'll keep going. Let's determine the slope here. It was at -6, now it's at -5. That's an increase of 1. It's at -4, and now it's at -9. That's a decrease of 5. This is the rise, this is the run. -5 over 1, which is just -5. A little bit of a lag there, that's okay. Let's find the slope here. I was at 0, now I'm at 1. That's an increase of 1. I was at 3, now I'm at 5.5. That's an increase of 2.5. Ooh, Mr. Barr, you're getting crazy, giving me decimals. Yes, decimals. Rise over run. So we'll put this in as 2.5. And we'll see if it accepts that. If not, we'll have to go and turn it into a fraction. So 2.5. Cool. All right, it was at -2, now it's at -1. That's an increase of 1. It was at 5, and now it's at 4.75. I had $5, now I have $4.75. That means it's a decrease of 1/4, which is 0.25. Rise over run. So we'll go with -0.25 as the slope. Which would have been the same thing as -1/4. It was at -1, now it's at +1. That's an increase of 2. It was at 1, now it's at 2. That's an increase of 1. Rise over run. You know what, let's put it in as 1/2 and see if it accepts that answer. It took it. I'm going to try it now as a decimal, a 0.5, and see if it likes that answer too. Yep, it takes both of them. Awesome. Question 11. It was at -5, now it's at -3. That's an increase of 2. It was at 10, now it's at 6. That's a decrease of 4. -4 over 2 equals -2. That's my slope. It was at -4, now it's at -2. That means it went up by 2. It was at 6, and now it's at 6. That's a 0. Rise over run. 0 over 2, which is 0. Don't freak out. I can have a 0 in the numerator. I just can't have a 0 in the denominator. I can have a 0 on top. I just can't have a 0 on the bottom. My slope is 0. Instead of giving you the points in a table, I'm giving them to you as points. So let's just set up a table, and we'll do it just like we've done everything else. X, Y, 3, 5, 5, 7. It does not matter which point you put on top. It'll work either way. From 3 to 5 is an increase of 2. From 5 to 7 is an increase of 2. Rise over run. The slope equals 1. Similar type of problem. I'm going to draw a table. X, Y, -3, 4, -6, 8. From -3 to -6, that's a decrease of 3. From 4 to 8, that's an increase of 4. So it's going to be 4 over 3, -4/3. Yes, the negative was on the 3, but I pushed it up to the top, which is fine. If I wanted to go decimal, it says to round your answer to the nearest tenth. So if I went decimal, this would be -1.3. So let's see if it accepts both those answers. I do not know. Ooh, that's hard to read. Okay. -4 over 3, checking the answer, it accepted it. -1.3, checking the answer, it accepted it. Both answers are good. That's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day.